All right, hello gamers, Mucklick here, and we are back with some more Guild Wars 2 news. Today is Thursday, June 13th, and today they updated the news page on their website with Spear Factor. Warrior, Thief, and Engineer. I'm genuinely surprised, just because the last post that they did had a heavy, medium, and light armor class. I thought this was going to be the same, but they did heavy, medium, medium. So, you know, if you were light and you were expecting an update, you gotta wait a week. All right. When Guild Wars 2 Janthier Wilds launches on August 20th, each of the 9 professions will have access to a new set of spear weapon skills that have new skill effects and animations. If you missed the expansion details, be sure to check out our Guild Wars 2 Janthier Wilds announcement blog first. Now, we have already gone over that, but we do have a video here. So let's watch the video, and we will then go through the details and see what matches up with what. And here we go. Spear preview, Warrior, Thief, Engineer. Forget the spear, I want that guy's collar. Hold on, let's back up a sec. All right, so we got a spear. He throws it, and then he did like an engage, possibly his second part of the throw. Does some maybe autos, and then he goes stealth or something. And then we got a rapid attack, repeated strikes, similar to what the Necro had. All right, Engineer. Please be better than Shortbow. Alright, an electric thrust. Electric swings. Now he's got a bunch of electric knives orbiting around him. Yo, that looks good. Yo, nice camera work. Now they all came together and became a flying second spear, which then impaled the foe. And he did a big crater thing. Yo, oh my god, this is the redemption arc for the Shortbow. That looks great. Alright, Warrior. Throws the spear once, twice. That looked like an evasion? She did like a jump backward thing. Keeps throwing. Full ranged weapon? And then a massive throw that made a crater. Oh man. This is like in the movies when you're like, you talk to the person next to you really loud and the movie suddenly gets quiet and you realize you're screaming in the theater. Alright. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Our blogs last week provided a general Q&A for how spears will work and a sneak peek at the new skills for Ranger, Necro, and Guardian. This week, game designers Chan Hong Fung, Cal Cohen, and Carl McLean from our Guild Wars 2 Janthier Wilds combat feature teams are ready to discuss the Warrior, Thief, and Engineer respectively. Warrior Spears, damage from a distance. The Warrior Spear is a power-based weapon inspired by ancient Sun Spear techniques, capable of striking multiple opponents at range. Even though most of their skills can attack distant foes, some of them gain increased effectiveness when used on closer targets, making opponents think twice about closing the gap. The Warrior Spear auto-attack is Mighty Throw, which hurls the spear at a single enemy, shattering on impact and sending spear fragments into other enemies around the target. Proximity to the target matters, as the closer the target is to the warrior, the more fragments are created. Maiming Spear is a ranged area attack. The warrior launches the spear into the air, dealing initial damage and crippling foes in the target area. This cripple is helpful to prevent enemies from escaping the aftershock that follows, which is larger the closer the targeted area is to the warrior. If breathing room is required, Spear Swipe... Unknown number. I don't know you! If, where is it? Spear Swipe propels the warrior backward. That's the thing I said looked like an evade. In an evasive maneuver before sending a gust of wind forward to knock enemies back. Finally, the Spear Burst skill, Harrier's Toss, allows the warrior to leap up into the air, evading attacks while hurling the spear down with explosive force and dealing more damage the more adrenaline is spent on the burst attacked. So, Harrier's Toss is gotta be that last thing we saw. We'll quiet that down a little bit. So there's the evasive move, and there's the leap in the air, and boom. All right, so that's got to be Harrier's Toss. All right, Thief. Chain attacks with Thief's Spear. Going back to Warrior for a second, I actually have had quite a few people in my chat going, Paragon is back! Now, I didn't play Guild Wars 1 Nightfall when I believe the Paragon was introduced. That was the only one I never played, so I don't know much about Paragon, but I'm seeing a lot of that in the chat, so I'm just saying that. Chain attacks with the Thief's Spear. Thief's Spear is a melee hybrid weapon that can be utilized by power and Condi builds. Ooh. It also draws inspiration from an old system in Guild Wars that Assassin players should be familiar with. Let's dive right in. The second, for those that don't know, the Assassin was added in Guild Wars 1 in, was it Factions? I want to say Factions. I think Assassin and Ritualist were Factions. The Thief is very similar to the Assassin, but not quite the same. So people have asked me in the past, do you think they'll ever add Assassin to the game? And I'm like, no, because there's something that's like 80% of the way there. I don't think they will. So this is interesting. Let's see what it does. The second and third spear skill slots share some characteristics. Each has 3 different states, but will always be in the same state as the other. By default, they will both be lead attacks. Striking an enemy with either lead attack will flip both slots into the next state. Follow-up attack. In a similar fashion, striking an enemy with either follow-up attack will flip the slots into the final state. Finisher attack. Yes, they're both combo finishers. After using one of the finishers, both skill slots will flip back to the lead attack state, ready to start a chain over again. Although the 4th and 5th skills and the stealth attack all gain additional bonuses when following a finisher skill, so you may want to weave in one of those before using another lead attack. One last note on the skill chains: using other skills during the chain sequence do not reset the chain, but failing to strike an enemy with a follow-up attack will. Okay, so if they block or dodge it. That's really cool. Okay, now that we have a quick overview of the mechanic, let's take a lot at the full slot 2 chain. So you'll be able to mix and match skills slots throughout the chain. For example, 3-2-3 totally works, but we won't be covering all of the skills today. The Mantis Sting lead attack is a quick melee strike that inflicts bleeding and crippled. This will flip into Entangling Asp, which poisons enemies and will also immobilize enemies that are affected by a movement impairing condition. Finally, the finisher skill, Falling Spider. And once again, this is all part of the 2 chain, because the 2 flips over to 3 different skills. Falling Spider inflicts bleeding, poison, and vulnerability, inflicting additional stacks against enemies that are either immobilized or under the effects of crowd control. Each skill's bonus trigger conditions are fulfilled by the previous skill in the chain, but these conditions are all things that the Thief has broader access to, so there are opportunities to get these bonuses even when chaining skills together from different skill slots. Interesting. Okay, so we don't know what the 4 and the 5 do yet, but the 2 and the 3 perform a chain. And you could do like 2-2-2 or 3-3 or 2-3-2 or 3-2-3, you know, anything like that. And then after doing any 3 of those clicks, you want to do the 4 or the 5 for a big bonus. I'm guessing the 4 or the 5, one of them will be that rapid strikes thing, but we'll see. Okay, okay. All right, Engineer Spear is shocking. So I have said multiple times with the Engineer, if they ever got a spear, what I wanted. And it's kind of that. And the inspiration for the idea was simply Horizon Zero Dawn. If you haven't played the game, you know, there's the redheaded girl, you've probably seen her on the trailers, and she's got a spear. But it's very, like, techno-punk or something. I don't know the right word for it. But she's got gadgets on the spear. For example, there's a taser on there. She could stab things, hit the button, and then start electrocuting them. She's got a small flamethrower tank at the other end. So, like, if she's holding the spear, she can flip it around the other side and fire fire from it with an attachment. The tank runs out fast, but it can still do that. So she's got all these cool gadgets that are on the spear, and I was like, I hope if the Engineer gets a spear in Guild Wars 2, it's something like that, you know, slap a taser onto it or something. Like, you could easily make it, like, you know, techno and make it kind of make sense. And, you know, more sense than using a short bow. Surviving in certain lightning-prone environments can be a difficult task for the common Tyrian. Engineers of their indomitable desire to create and adapt have found a way to turn their knowledge against their enemies as weapons of mass destruction. Let's talk about how we'll be using the spear to dart around the battlefield and dominate targeted foes. The Engineer's spear combat style is melee-oriented with hybrid damage, encouraging you to pick a target and run directly into battle while utilizing a variety of control and damage skills. Your primary skill for this weapon is called Conduit Surge. This skill dashes to your targeted foe and applies the focused effect to them, charging them for future attacks. Every other weapon attack will apply a bonus effect or work to maintain the focused effect on your foe. One thing to note about Conduit Surge is that if a foe is defeated while under the focused effect, this skill will refresh and allow you to pursue your next target. The Lightning Rod skill is constantly available while wielding a spear. The engineer will create a segmented lightning rod that spins around them, dealing bonus damage to focused targets and gaining an amplifying effect, with a bonus for hitting a focused target. For the next skill on the same slot, electric artillery. When the lightning rod is completed and hovering over your shoulder, you could choose to launch your charged rod, at an enemy, immobilizing them and applying damaging conditions based on the lightning rod's success. The weapon's 5th skill and Battle Ender is a skill currently called Devastation, which allows you to leap to a targeted area and deliver a massive EMP-style attack, inflicting focused foes with a continuously damaging effect. An EMP? An electromagnetic pulse? I mean, does that even do anything if they're not using electronics? I mean, I guess if your foe has a pacemaker or something. I don't know. I'm often stupid. Maybe I'm stupid about something here. We look forward to watching you tear around the battlefield, mixing both spears and kits together to cause fear and chaos. Upcoming spear news. We'll be showing off all of the new spear skills during a Twitch live stream on June 21st at noon Pacific time. In addition, there will be a beta event from June 27th at 9 a.m. until June 30th at 10 p.m. Pacific, where everyone can try out spears and give us feedback. Our blog next week, we'll have more information on the final 3 professions and their spear abilities. Happy adventuring until then. So what's left? Revenant and Mesmer and Ellie, I think, are the ones we haven't seen. I want to see the NG one again. I want to see that again. All right, so we got the NG here. And skip it forward. So there's like the dash thrust thing. And he starts swinging. Oh, now, hold on. I just saw something. Let's back up like 5 seconds. All right, I wonder if that's the focused effect. See that? There's like a crackling arch above him. I wonder if that's the icon for which enemy you're currently focused on and getting damage bonuses on. It's still there right there. And then there's the lightning rod starting to come together. And then it's done, and then he launches the whole thing. And that is probably this devastation skill that they mentioned. They said currently named Devastation. They might rename it to like Gormandize or something. I don't know. But yeah, yo, that looks really cool. They've done some creative stuff here. I like it. So yeah, we got the Thief with the skill chain with the lead attack and then the follow-up attack and then the final attack, taking inspiration from Guild Wars 1 Assassin. We got the Engineer trying to redeem itself after Shortbow. It honestly looks really good. It looks very nice. They did good camera work with that. And then Warrior getting a new full ranged option where they could do lots of damage from ranged. And if enemies are clustered together, it does more. And if they're closer, it does more. And then, another thing about Thief was that it could be used for power or Condi, which is really cool. So, yeah. That is... Wait, Shortbow is awesome in World v. World. Stop shaming it. I will shame it till my dying breath. You had a character that knew how to use gunpowder, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to a piece of wood and string, okay? Like, he freaking, yo, engineers are so creative. No, they freaking regressed, all right? They went back to the Stone Age for a second. I think they took a few too many hits into the head in World v. World, all right? I am adamantly against that. Okay, all right, sorry. I had to share my thoughts. Yeah, that's it. Warrior, Thief, and Engineer. That is the blog post for today. That is all the new information I currently know about to share with you. As always, the links will be in the description down below if you would like to check it out yourself. And if you've got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, or things to point out that I missed, put it in the comment section. I'll fight you there.